How much stress and time and effect on your mental health is your current process costing you? Now, that is a really strange question, and I really would encourage you to ponder that because here's my answer, or was my answer a few years ago. When I was using the traditional methods of eyes closed induction, down the stairs, inner child regression, listening to audios, all of that stuff, I was actually at the worst health I've ever been. Like I was the unhealthiest mentally, emotionally, and physically during that time when I was using that method for myself and for my clients, which is ironic. The reason why I got into the hypnotherapy field was to help heal myself, but in many ways it worked sometimes, but it didn't last very long. And that was a very difficult truth for me to face. But it was the truth nonetheless. And they say that hindsight is our biggest lesson. And so around that time, I was definitely not my mental, in my mental, physical, and emotional health. Um, a best case scenario. It was actually, again, quite the opposite. And here is why. And I'm sharing this with you because I like sharing my own mistakes so that you can recognize yourself. Within this, lately, I've been talking to a lot of hypnotherapists and coaches who really are quite great at what they do. They really do want to help people, they want the business, but they're just feeling very flat and unmotivated. And I'm sharing the story to help you reconsider how you're doing things. If your actual end goal is to serve people, make a difference, give a lot of value into your sessions, have the very best results for your clients, and to help them heal, and of course, heal yourself in the process. The method that I was trained in just took very long. And now these are actual numbers, okay? These are actual numbers. I didn't make this shit up. I actually timed myself per client, how long it took for me to deliver within that session. So a client would come to me and they would be like, hey, I want a session with you. It took me 6 to 8 hours, okay, for the whole thing. The delivery, the hours, the delivery was 2 to 3 hours sometimes for that particular methodology, plus the prep, plus me preparing the audio, plus the other stuff that I did in between, plus the follow-up stuff. 6 to 8 hours per client. If you do the math, that's a lot. And if I wanted to get to 5K, then it meant that I would need to be directly working with clients for like 25 hours or so a week, 25 hours a week directly with client to client direct care. And so if you look at a 40-hour week, there that leaves 15 hours for marketing, for business operations, for other stuff you need to do that's not even including their strategy call. And so it really did not make sense to me. It took so much time, and my smart little brain here really did that calculation. It's in its head on its own, not out loud. It calculated it pretty quickly, unconsciously. No surprise why I had marketing blocks, I had money blocks, and I really held myself back from marketing, promoting, and getting clients because it was too much work. And that was the real root of it. And so, because of that, I needed to change things. And plus, I really didn't believe in the method. As I mentioned, I was the sickest I have ever been. And there was just something in it that I didn't fully agree with. Like, does that feel familiar to you? You just know that something's off about the methods you're teaching. Like they're saying that it's client centered, but you know deep down that it's not. And that's exactly what I felt like as well. So I was out of integrity, which is another driving factor as to why I had visibility blocks, right? That really had nothing to do with my worth. Although I told myself that because that's what the method also teaches, But if I were to get into the reality, and again, hindsight now, that's what truly happened. Like I did not believe in what I was doing. And in terms of economics and time, it just didn't make sense. And so I wanted to share this with you because maybe you are feeling that way. And if you are feeling that way, how are you managing it? What have you been doing for it? As I mentioned before, this is actually pretty common these days whenever this video is filmed um, and given out. That is the current state of who I'm talking to. So I'm curious to know if you also feel that way. Excuse me, because fortunately I got myself out of it and I no longer worry about the amount of hours preparation post session work. I never had to worry now about did it work? I don't have that feeling anymore. I'm not worried about analytical clients. I'm not worried about the audio not working or my clients not listening to it. I don't worry about that anymore because I completely just thrown that in the metaphorical garbage bin. And now I just have a conversation with my client and know that by the end of it, they will receive the breakthrough that they need at that moment in time. And so there is a way out of here. But again, I'm curious to know, are you feeling the down in the dumps? And is this something that you want help with? If so, what have you done? And, this is something that bulletproof nervous system is really good for. It helps a lot. It has helped so many people to go from inaction to action because we're using your biology. We're actually using the critical thinking process within you, the intelligence that is within you, to help you increase your motivation to actually help you get what you want, which is for a lot of my students and colleagues and clients, it's really just to make a massive impact, to make the world a better place, to help end the suffering in this world. And so how are you feeling now? How are you taking care of yourself? Do you resonate with what I just said? Comment them below and I will hear from you soon. And if you do want to talk about this privately, you can also message me because that is what I'm here for. So sending you a lot of healing thoughts and a lot of motivation if you need it.